Good evening, gentlemen. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated, but we are the initiated. We are men first. I would like to first and foremost give a shout out to the brothers, the distinguished brothers of the Wrench Gang. Glad y'all could be up in here, man. My brother SJ3, Harlem World Breaker for sure, man. I'm glad you could be here. Presidential Mike, Wilt Sheldon, Mac Mackey, one of our star supporters, man. Got to make sure you have to look over here, man. Make sure you got a wrench. I apologize for the decorum, brothers. I was running a little late, man. I was having issues with the damn camera for some damn reason, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. So, you know, I'm not going to take too much of you brothers' time with the opening monologue. I like to say that you've guys seen what was been going on with black men pertaining to black male empowerment and men's spaces and stuff. And it's basically everything that I've ever talked about coming to, a head. Things that I foreseen and things that I forewarned you brothers about. long ago. You know, when you standing on your square, you're not going to be running in circles. When you standing in your square, you're not going to be running in packs and cliques and all this other bullshit. You're not going to let people uh, on the internet determine or dictate the way that you conduct yourself as a man. For some reason, this Pookie and Ray Ray argument has reared its ugly head again for some reason. And for the life of me, I really can't understand why men can't view themselves as simply being men. You have to come with all these subtitles of I'm a Pookie, I'm a Ray Ray, and to the point where young black brothers actually are brothers of all races, you know, tend to gear themselves toward whatever is getting the bitches. So again, I say, if you're standing on your square, you can't fit into a round hole. You're not even trying to fit yourself in a round hole because you know that you are standing on your square. I understand that for the most part, YouTube is a certain level of entertainment for some. And for others, it's an outlet. It's an outlet for brothers who live everyday life. Brothers who, who are out here waking up at 4:30, 5:30 every morning, hitting the ground running. Whether it's hitting the gym before you go into your job, whether you're an entrepreneur, no matter what you are, you're conducting yourself like a man. Now, I have to question, what makes you a Pookie or Ray Ray? What makes you an educated lame? Shouldn't we all be men? I'm serious. This is a serious question. Because you grow up in the hood and you want better for your life, you decide to go to college and get a degree. Some of the most sophisticated motherfuckers that I know, the most high earning people that I know, I tell you, people, guys, all the time that I actually rub shoulders with multi-millionaires. I have one of my homies who is a multi-millionaire who quit school in the 9th grade. I have another homeboy that spent 10 years in the federal penitentiary, and he is a multi-millionaire. You look at some of my when me and my old lady decided to, renew our vows after 20 years, he was there. You understand what I'm saying? And very educated as far as his vernacular, the way he carries himself. You would never in a million years know that he'd been to prison. And then I listen to other educated brothers who want to sit up here and talk about who's Pookie. Initially, I thought it was about the message. It was about male empowerment, making men more aware of their surroundings, making men more aware of female nature and the gynocracy. But now I'm starting to see that some of these men not only, have a disdain for not being chosen by women, these motherfuckers actually hate black men. Now, we all come from all walks of life. We all have a story to tell. We all come from different backgrounds, man. We all come from different walks of life. And that's what makes us unique. Many brothers, I can't relate to it because my father raised me, but I was raised in a neighborhood where my father was looked at as like the father of all my homies. You understand what I'm saying? Because many of them didn't have a father. And now we've moved the goalpost yet again. We tend to want to blame the small fraction of men that these women choose to get impregnated by and call them pookies. They're all facts and logic and empirical data out of the window. Now we have to blame the plight of the black man on Pookie. Never mind the fact that his mother chose to be impregnated by a man that wasn't her husband, or a man that was there for a good time and not a long time. This is why you see, so many variables, I'd say, when it comes to men. Because, normally when you had a decent father, he will teach you about wisdom and understanding that everyone's plight isn't your own. Now, I'm not making excuses for serial baby daddies and undisciplined men, but you have to bring it back to, where were these men raised? How were they raised? That's a good question. Because I argue and say that most men that were raised by their mothers fight with their masculinity every day. Although they know what's right, know the way that they conduct themselves as a man, because it's inherently programmed into you as a man, but you have been deprogrammed and desensitized by the gynocracy, by women who raised you to be a man. I've told you once, and I'll tell you a million times over, a lot of these single mothers condition their sons to be slaves to the gynocracy. It is why you will see a 7-year-old boy who has dreams and aspirations to build a house for his mother. It's the reason you see a 10-year-old boy looking to get his mama out of the projects, although she was afforded the time and the energy to get herself out of that position. This is where you see the fucking son husband. These are the men who are raised to be slaves to their mother's demands. In modern times, you see now more than ever over the wall, post-wall women who are out here seeking attention and validation like some young bitch. This is where you get your AJ Johnsons. I thought AJ Johnson was the motherfucker off Friday, but apparently this woman has that same name, and she's been around for a long time, and now she's talking about a threesome. And you see how the gynocracy changes the definition of what things really are. When a woman has sex with multiple men, it is a train. It is not a threesome. It is a fucking train. You're a whore. You need to call it for what you see it. And now all these media outlets take this shit and run with it, because most of the major media outlets are a part of the gynocracy. You rarely see anything that is geared toward young male empowerment, young black boy empowerment, none of that shit, because of the simple fact that is you are looked upon and viewed upon as a fucking tool. And once brothers come to the grips of that reality, then maybe, just maybe, they will start to conduct themselves accordingly as a man. Now, I heard motherfuckers over there on Bernard Riley's channel, Edward, which, Edward, I'm not going to go there with you. I've went there with you before. I think we all good. You make valid points, and it is what it is. I myself have been detached from that realm of YouTube for the simple fact that a lot of it is I'm I'm more on the geared toward traditional masculinity. But I had one idiot over there want to tell me how, you know, this back and forth between me and BGS Itmore, he shat on me. He shitted on me. And I questioned, how did he shit on me? This man openly admitted that his daughter has multiple children by multiple men and he had to provide for them financially. I simply said that I have adult daughters and I don't have grandchildren. None of my 3 daughters are married and they don't have children. How was that winning an argument? Because he got pissed off because I said if my child has a child out of wedlock, I would not provide for them financially, and he got triggered by what I said, and he went on his tangent. That wins the argument. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Once I detached myself from a lot of the buffoonery of seeing where it was going a couple of years ago, I doubled my subscriber count on YouTube. I'm more of a lone wolf. People that I do rock with, I rock with them. I fuck with my brother BOA. He's a Bama boy as well. He is a brand. He and the Alpha Sphere is a brand all its own. So this is why when you hear them talking that shit about different people, you rarely hear them mention any of our names because, I have a lot of respect for Bernard Riley, but at the end of the day, his channel should be way bigger than what it is. The reason that it is being subdued is because he's fucking with people and making business deals with people who actually sit up and talk about other man's penis size. A man that, by his own words, is not college educated or any of this bullshit, but he loves to pretend and perpetrate a fraud. This is what I tell you guys about this YouTube shit. It's cool to donate to brothers who you relate to. It's cool, man. I mean, if you enjoy the content, man, you show love by, donating money to keep the channel up and going and give them motivation to continue doing the shit. I myself, I have a life outside of YouTube. YouTube is not my prime source of revenue at all. This is why I come through every now and then. It was once upon a time I was coming a lot because I felt like the message was necessary. But then more and more that I hung around this motherfucker, I started to realize how brothers was conducting themselves. When you start hearing content creators that you look to as the founders of your circle, again, I say as a man, you stand on your square, but the founding fathers of the circle that you're running in, talking about, you need to develop a queer eye to the gynocracy and all this other bullshit, then you have to question these people. You have to question these people's motives. I've told you guys long ago that a lot of these men's integrity is for sale. It's the reason that I don't have a problem with decorum. You know, in my career, I've been in corporate offices, sitting around corporate salary people, owners, and all this other bullshit. And I still stand on my motherfucking square. Now, I'm not going to go on about what you guys already know what was going on, but I have to question, why is a heterosexual man, a grown ass, supposedly heterosexual man, in the chat room of a barb? Are you a barb? Or is it just for business? If it's just for business, then say that. That way, men, traditional heterosexual men, know that you're not standing on your square. You can say things that will go viral, have your viral moments and all this other bullshit, but as far as black men, that is what we do not need. We need someone who is traditional, someone who is strictly about the message. And that's where I come into play. Nigga, and you know I don't use that word lightly. Why in the fuck are you in a female's chat room? Going on to their platform for these motherfuckers to fucking shit on every talking point that you've ever had. This woman body is carved up. This woman sat up there and told women to focus on themselves. Don't give a fuck about a nigga. They can choose the nigga that they want. Okay? That was a shot, direct shot at you and your fucking talking points. And then you bend the knee so much that this bitch rate herself as a 7 and you give her a 9. There's a time and a place for everything, I agree. But why were you there? You went into her arena to get shat on. Yeah, I said shat, Obsidian. You motherfuckers are the real fucking clowns of this goddamn space. And to distract everyone from exactly what happened, you choose to bring up men's penis sizes and Pookie ain't fucking them right. Women will tell you that they enjoy fucking with a street dude. I don't have a problem with what bitches' choice is regardless, because they're going to do what they want to do. It doesn't have nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Women are going to choose who they choose to deal with. I only implore you brothers to not choose the wrong bitch to fuck with or procreate with or get in a relationship with. Nothing more. There's no deep-rooted hatred for women. There's no nothing. Women are going to do what they want to do. Why do you think that strag has enough mitigated gall to sit up there and say, get to your bag, handle your business, do your motherfucking thing, and then you can choose? Because guess what? They're going to choose a rapist or a motherfucking degenerate just like she did. It's why I tell you brothers to not be focused on the bitch. Don't be out here trying to goddamn get your bag up, become this other bullshit for these hoes. These hoes are whimsical. They're going to do what they want to do. Can you conduct yourself like a man? Can you stand on your motherfucking square, regardless of the vag, regardless of the bitches? If you're going to interact with women, it's natural, but not be a fucking cuckold to some worthless ass bitch. And a worthless ass bitch don't necessarily mean she's not worthless because she has celebrity status or she has money. You're a fool. We all are going to get the same embalming fluid pumped into us unless you get cremated. We all gonna get buried in that motherfucking ground. I implore you brothers to look at one brother named Lamont at Large, where he goes to different grave sites. Celebrities, regular people, all of them have something in common. All them bitches is cold and dead in the ground. So whether it's Nicki Minaj or the homeless fella that just had a heart attack on a park bench, they all got that great equalizer. They all gonna be a dead motherfucker at some point. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm gonna stand on mine, and you're not gonna disrespect me, whether it's on your platform or anyone else's platform. You've heard me talk about it's a reason that I don't go back and forth with women. It's a reason that I don't go on these fucking panels. Every now and then I rear my ugly head. But I'm not finna go back and forth with you motherfucking broads. There's no getting through to you. You can throw stats and logic and empirical data at these motherfuckers. They're not going to listen to that shit. It's going to be based on the way that they feel. So why would you waste your fucking time and your energy disrupting your circumference talking to someone that is illogical and irrational? It's a waste of time. At the end of the day, I expect brothers to perform well. Now, all of a sudden, because you don't have a degree or you don't have a higher level of education from some white institution, you're not worthy. I did see Dennis Sperling get his ass the flow mopped with him over there. And being a lawyer, you should be able to be someone who could respect logic and physical evidence. The evidence is that these bitches don't give a damn about being married or any of that bullshit. They don't give a fuck about no traditional family. It's all about the way that they feel and who can make them feel the best that they can feel. But I heard you over there. It's a reason that the lead attorney came after you, and he's way, much bigger than you. Because every 3 minutes you're showing an infomercial talking about donating and cash apping and PayPaling and all this other stupid ass bullshit. So it makes me question, what exactly do you really got going on over there? You told that bitch you was in the top 1%. You're 6'5" and you this and that. That shit don't mean nothing to a bitch. You are a target. If you so high value, why the fuck are you in Kevin Samuels' Facebook group looking for a wife? Why does Kevin Samuels use you as the model of finding a wife after you failed at marriage before? I've been with my woman for now over 25 years. All but one of my children are grown. Do they have flaws like other children? Yes, but the crazy thing about it is, outside of my oldest, she has an Instagram. None of them have social media. They conduct themselves under the radar. My second oldest daughter, I've shown Instagram lives where she cooked, she cleaned, she's a traditional young woman. She's beautiful. You never see any images of them shaking their ass and bouncing their ass and doing all this extra shit. My oldest daughter often tells me she has her degree, but she doesn't have a job in the career or what she has a degree in. She's doing insurance claims adjusting. And anybody knows anything about claims adjusting, she works around a bunch of fucking women. And she talks to me about how these women, most of them are much older than her, 30 and up. And they always coming to her for advice. And she basically told me, Daddy, I can tell that a lot of these women weren't raised with their father, because a lot of the stuff that they come to me about, you've always told me. Now, that's nothing I hang my hat on, but the thing is about it, each one teach one. I raised my children with tough love. I did. I ain't gonna say I beat them. I never really had to whoop their ass or anything at all, but I conducted myself as a man around them, and I taught them how a man is supposed to conduct themselves and how a woman should know her place. Regardless of what anyone tells you, this is a man's world. You don't see women out here building bridges, building structures, and whatever you use, the things that you use daily. You don't see women building those things. But yet and still, we come back to here, where an educated brother is starting to blame everything on Pookie and Ray Ray. I've worked with several men in all walks of life. I've been on my job for 20 plus fucking years. I'm good at what I do. Sure, I could start my own business. I have businesses on the side. I say all the time that men should have multiple revenue streams. YouTube, it actually isn't one of them for me, but I come here because I'm genuine about the message. But do you know how many brothers I've ran into who have been misinformed and misguided? How many brothers that come out there because they're away from home, they on the phone with their old lady all day, every day, arguing, raising their voice, screaming to the high hills because they were raised by their mothers. Do you know how many brothers I've had to deprogram into men? Do you know how many brothers that have spent time in prison and came out different men? Those are your Pookies. Those are your Ray Rays, or what you want, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I look at men as men. I don't have subtitles for men for being who they are. Because men have been conditioned and programmed to be slaves. I say it again. For another grown man to go in on men and say these motherfuckers should be lined up on the street and shot dead and all this other bullshit, that shows that you need help. And it doesn't matter what kind of education that you have or what kind of background that you need help. The truth of the matter is, women enjoy a street savvy man that's about his business. You could talk about tattoos and whatever else the fucking deal is. That doesn't judge a man's worth. How have many of you motherfuckers been moving? Because you hate Pookie and Ray Ray so much, I see you with your motherfucking videos. Rapping and shit. Nigga, you 40-something years old and you still up here trying to be a Pookie or a Ray Ray. But you have such a disdain for these people. Cue the infomercial. If you like the content, if you enjoy the content, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal. The fuck out of here. You niggas are clowns. You're not what young black men need. You're not what anyone needs, to be honest. I told y'all, man, be wary of the peoples whose content you absorb, because many of them are simply here for entertainment and financial gain. because of their terrible decisions. Many of them talk about women not being held accountable and all this other bullshit, but who's going to hold you accountable for putting lipstick on a pig? Most of the shit that you brothers hear right now has nothing to do with your everyday life, man. You are actually being shamed for being anything productive. You're ashamed for not making $100,000 a year. Why? You buy into the same rhetoric of what feminists and fucking ragged ass bitches been spewing for years. You have to take yourself to this unrealistic expectation, when in fact there's nothing wrong with being an average brother. There's nothing wrong with being an everyday traditional man. There's nothing wrong with it at all, man. Sure, your interactions with women, all of our interactions will be different. Right time, right place, right time. But the energy that you put out will be the energy that you get back. You conduct yourself as a man. Do some women view masculinity as some fucking rampant ass yakky motherfucker? Maybe. But then you may run across some woman that views that shit as a disdain. You never know. But you conduct yourself like a man all the goddamn time, bruh. People want to make excuse for these motherfuckers. Oh, you gotta have decorum and all that. Man, fuck that. When somebody shit on your motherfucking porch, are you gonna just sit up there and look at them and say, oh? Are you gonna goddamn come out that bitch and ready to blow their motherfucking brains out? You let motherfuckers have it. When someone attacks your beliefs, you have to stand up for yourself. That's what men do. Unless you're trying to get into another realm of things, and that means that you were disingenuous with who you are from the jump. Yeah, I may not be a multi-millionaire. I may not be rubbing shoulders with celebrities and shit, but I don't give a fuck about that, because guess what? There are no more of a human being than I am. Your money don't make you shit, but a target. Your money don't make you shit, because at the end of the day, your ass gonna go in that cold, hard ground. And how many people you've seen as celebrity status that's dead and don't even have a headstone? You understand me? Stand on who you are. There's nothing wrong with being a man. There's nothing wrong with being an average, everyday brother. You don't have to go on no fucking YouTube. You don't have to go on no goddamn no Facebook group to find no motherfucking wife. That's clown shit. I'm going to give a shout out to all the cash apps that have come in over the past couple of months, man. Shout out to my brother C-Rob, man, with the 5-piece. My brother J Bell with the 5-piece as well. My brother Micah with the 20 spot. The homie Kevin. Oh, shit. The homie Kevin with the 50 spot. The homie Nando with the 25-piece, man. I appreciate y'all, brothers. But again, I say, man, you know, what happened to the message? When a woman tells another woman what type of men to avoid, is called empowerment. When a man starts to tell brothers what type of women to avoid, he's a misogynist. He hates women. That is the world that we live in. We live in an anti-male world. And then all of a sudden you have these goofballs who want to turn around and make a division between men. Oh, it's Pookie and Ray Ray. There's educated lame. And you call yourself an educated lame. How square is that? I've met brothers who've come from all walks of life who are successful in their own right. You look at the corporate executive, the guy that was running Nike. Man had a murder charge. Man was convicted of murder. Got out of prison and changed his life. It's never too late to change. Do I have my disagreements with disdain for different ways that young men carry themselves? But when you don't have a father around, you're going to gravitate to any sort of masculinity that you see. Now you want to sit up here and tell the world that it's all men's fault. It's the 16% of men who are creating single mothers, is their fault. What about the 26 million children that have been aborted by black women? Or the over 1 million a year that are created by men of other races? Are we going to talk about that? That divestment shit is real, man. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, none of that shit should distract you from becoming the man that you should be. Standing on your square. You see, I've made an emphasis on standing on your square as a man. Your integrity is not for sale. I would rather die on my back than live on my knees as a coward. Do you feel me? The homie Malik said, I'm not speaking for Dennis, but I think when he's talking about Pookie and Ray Ray, he's talking about unproductive and dysfunctional elements of black men. You can be white, blue collar, or Pookie too. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, you got to understand why a lot of these guys are unproductive. They don't have no remnants of masculinity. They don't have no remnants of what a man or how a man should conduct himself. Some of these guys run into these type of men as a mentor in their mid-20s. Hell, some of them even in their 30s, brother. Believe it or not. We have to stay strong with the message of who we are as men. Each one teach one. I'm not telling you to go out here and be stepdads. I heard this one motherfucker sitting up here talking about, if men want to be married, if they want to be in the dating market, they better be, used to dealing with single mothers. Man, you don't have to stoop beneath your standards just to be with anyone. You're better off walking alone. Standing on your square most times don't mean you're going to have to be the lone wolf. Now, I get it. Some of y'all may come to YouTube to find remnants of relatability. But you ain't going to find it with no female, no. You motherfuckers donate hundreds and thousands of dollars to women to tell you about the plights of men. Just think about that for a minute. A woman who lives in modern time has everything to her advantage. When you talk about equality, they're equal in every way. And you will let a bitch sit up here with fucking tattooed titties tell you about the plights of men. A woman who actually sit up there and told you that nearly 90% of her content absorbers, or the people that watch her content, are men. When women are genuine with their message, they're talking to other women. She is only using you fucking idiots as a fucking source of revenue. No man that is married to a woman will let her get on social media every day with her fucking titties out in front of you clowns' faces. Because you are easily bamboozled, you are easily fooled. And you look for female validation by telling her, questioning her and asking her shit. And that bitch leaves her. She don't want to hear from you motherfuckers. She's too busy spending you clowns' money. Where is her husband? Have you seen any images of a husband? Oh, I'm married. The same strag that stood up and told y'all that she had a whore phase without having sex. Is that what men have become? Is you to the point where you can sit up and listen to that strags talk about the plights of men? Or you can sit up and absorb content from a man that talks about men's penis sizes and how they're fucking other women, fucking women. Is that how far we've fallen? Do you have to go looking for love or a wife on social media outlets? Do you worship another man to the point that he can't be critiqued? By simply having an opinion, you're being critiqued. Again, I ask, I'm curious, why is another man in a barb platform with other women? Question a man. But I don't give a fuck how much money I got. You will never see me in a fucking on a platform like that. Talking and conversating with the same strag that you tell other men to stay away from. This shit is weird to me, man. Malik says again at GMB, what you speak on applies being a man, period. Principles of manhood apply if you're a 9-to-5er, self-employed, street dude, or anywhere in between. Men respect men from all walks of life. I agree, brother. I've never said I didn't agree. But you can't be out here shaming men for the way that they conduct themselves. Many men are programmed to be that way because many men don't have fathers. And now we want to blame Pookie and Ray Ray. Mighty funny that motherfuckers shooting videos with Pookie and Ray Ray. Motherfuckers got their fame off of World Star Hip Hop. I ask y'all, for many of the people that you listen to, if YouTube were to collapse, and these people didn't have a platform to come to, who would they be? I've seen several people, I've been around for a while now. I've seen several people change their whole everything about them. They went from car videos, struggling, going with the everyday plights of men, to now in whole setups and studios and talking shit to you by not being on their level. Talking down to the same people that pedestalize them, by the same people that put them in the position that they're in. Talk down to you like you ain't shit. I see it all the time, quite honestly. I know the history of this shit. I see you motherfuckers. But you want to talk shit to men about being unproductive when your whole claim to fame and the reason you're in the position that you're in is because of YouTube. You even have have the fucking balls to tell men, if they work a regular job, they slaves. Brother Tommy, man, I appreciate you, brother, with the 20 spot. I'm going to show you something. Let me pull some up here. Okay. So I had a guy come into my comment section because, you know, Universal Balance, salute to you, my brother. Good to see you. That was telling me, you know, I respect what you do, man, but you don't have a career. You have a job. And I wanted to pull up the definition of a career. It says a career is an occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life and with opportunities for progress. I've been on my fucking job for 23 motherfucking years. How is my job not a career? Matter of fact, I've set what you would call Pookies and Ray Rays up, and I've groomed them under my tutelage, and now they're in better positions in life. Nearly everyone that I've taken under my wing makes over $120,000 to $160,000 a year. And this ain't just one motherfucker. These are several motherfuckers. I have companies just call me out of the blue, offering me, trying to wean me away from the company that I work for. When my sister died and I took extended time off, I was paid. When my son had cancer and I took extended time off to deal with my ailing son, I was paid. When I recently lost my mother, motherfucker, I was paid. That's not just a job, that is respect. Putting other men in positions to win is respect. My day may come, and it will come, where I'm dead and cold in that ground too. But you know what I have in common with Whitney Houston, Tupac, Biggie Small, Sidney Poitier, any of these people, guess what? We all gonna be in that same cold ground. I may not never be a millionaire, but I'm fine with that. I never may be a multi-millionaire, but I'm fine with that. The over 300 acres that I share between me and my siblings will move on with my children. The camps, being able to hunt and fish and fend for yourself. Those are things that will be passed on to my children. Not being in a Barb's comment section. You understand me? There's too much going on in the motherfucking world for you to be concerned with a lot of this bullshit. But I find myself speaking on it because it is necessary. Many of you brothers need to conduct yourselves as men. You hear all these people you listening to on YouTube while you at work and shit, ain't even got no fucking bass in their voice. They've never been in a successful relationship, never interacted with several different women, don't know nothing about women, but they want to tell you all the fucking bullshit that comes with women. And there's a lot of it. But most of what they tell you is hearsay. It doesn't come from a genuine place of where they've actually interacted with anyone. A lot of these motherfuckers are socially awkward. It's revenge of the turds. Because without YouTube and a lot of this shit that they spew out of their fucking mouth, they wouldn't be shit. But they want to tell you that you ain't shit. Why? because of the environment that you were raised in, because you were programmed to believe everything a woman says, because you was conditioned by this fucking gynocentric cesspool. I believe in second chances. I believe in men having the ability to be men and redeem themselves. I believe in men being under the right tutelage can be the best men that they can be. Not sitting up talking about men's penis sizes and what they doing to bitches behind closed doors. That shit is whole shit. Just because these people are considered founding fathers and all this, it doesn't make them exempt from being hoes. You understand me? Many of them are worse than fucking these same strags that motherfuckers complain about. Y'all don't hear me, man. Stop listening to garbage. Stop listening to men who behave like women. Everything that they talk about, they can dress it up with word salad and put it in a nice box. But when you open that box up, it's full of bullshit. If you got anything going on in life outside of this entertainment shit, your content will be at a premium. You're not available to make content every day because you got real life going on. You're conducting yourself as a man. Salute, Brother Willie Beeman. I'm serious. When you got reality, when reality kicks you in your ass, none of these people that you subscribe to and you donate $25, $30, $100 to, them folks ain't gonna mention your motherfucking name. They ain't even gonna miss you. You gone. So when it comes to dating and mating and all this other bullshit, it is a waste of time. Everything that you do, every fiber of your being should be used. All your energy should be used to become the best man that you could be in your lane, whatever your lane may be. I don't give a fuck what these hoes doing out here. I really don't. As a man that's been with my woman for several years, I can't sit up here and tell you that I endorse marriage and all this other bullshit. If some unforeseen circumstances was to happen to me, you would never see me in a full-fledged relationship again. My children are grown. There is no reason for me to be in a fucking relationship again. And there is no need for you to chase pussy whatsoever. If you chasing, that means she ain't choosing. And she ain't choosing you. You could be out here and try to be the Pookie type. You could be out here with your gold chains and flexing with tattoos and shit like that, but that bitch gonna sense the lame in you. She gonna know that you doing all that shit to try to fit in. You ain't standing on your square. You're trying to fit that square into a round peg. And she gonna use you. And she gonna play you. When I talk about men first, I talk about being a man before you being anything else. To you feminist bitches, men, no, hey, bitch, you need to understand what I'm telling you. And what I'm telling men around the globe, you be a man before you anything else. You be a man before you a father. You be a man before you a husband. Be a man before you a welder or a truck driver or a school superintendent. Be a man before you anything else. You be a man first. So when somebody comes into your circumference or you interacting with somebody that goes against your principles, you call them out on it right there. You don't wait for, because opportunity don't present itself a second time. You may never see this motherfucker go on that bitch's platform ever again. Just like love never returns to these bitches in a full glass. This is why you see them when they date different men. There's always after one man, if it man that may have been way up here, every man after that is down here. It slowly trickles down. Love never returned to you in a full glass. Opportunity sometimes only presents itself one time. And that's where you take advantage of every opportunity that you're given. The brother Matthew with the 20 spot, I appreciate you. The homie Malik with a 20 spot. The homie Tommy with a 20 piece. I'm serious, man. Men are shamed for being traditional men. I was called a country motherfucker. Oh, he like Kwame Brown. I'm nothing like Kwame Brown, other than our southern drawl. I'm just a traditional masculine man that see the plights of men everywhere. I relate to the men from my ilk. I relate to the men that I rub shoulders with every day. The men that I see who are at least trying. And then you YouTubing motherfuckers. You like Umar Johnson said, YouTubian motherfuckers. You want to move the goalpost. Now all of a sudden you got to make this kind of money to be a valuable man. No, you don't. I've told you before and I'll tell you again, money don't make you high value. Structure, order, discipline, integrity, principles. These are the things that make you valuable. Standing on your fucking square, man. Those are the things that make you a man. And those things can't be shamed out of you. Once you start to embrace those things and implement those things in your life, can't nobody take that shit from you, bruh. And you can walk with your back straight and your fucking chest out and your head high, knowing that you are doing everything that you can to be a man. And this what you pass it on to your sons, and your sons pass it on to his sons, and his sons pass it on to his sons. That's what being a man is all about. Not on fucking YouTube talking about another man's penis size, or not in a comment section or some strag's Instagram. Q Knox, my dog. I know I've went on for a minute, brothers, but for you who I offend, with all due respect, fuck you. I've always said this is grown man business over here. And we talk about what men go through, the plights of men. I don't give a fuck what these hoes doing out here, to be honest. I simply tell you brothers what type of woman to avoid. I don't need to see no bitches sitting at a table with their ass out talking about their dysfunction and shit. You see that shit in real time. You see that shit every day. You log into your Facebook. You see this shit every day. There's nothing more to look at. There's nothing more to see. If a man ain't focused on what the fuck he's supposed to be on his business at this point in life, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. Especially if you brothers of you older gentlemen that know exactly who you are as a man. There's nothing wrong with being an average everyday brother, man. You know what? I can't say you alpha your way through every situation, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. As a 40-plus-year-old man, women are attracted to masculinity. It's a reason why Puffy's bitch was fucking the trainer. Or you see all these rich, wealthy motherfuckers. You see Jeff Bezos' bitch drooling over Leo DiCaprio. Money doesn't make you high value. It makes you a high target. Conduct yourself like a man. You got the fucking juice. You understand me? Before I go, I like to share a story with you guys. Being that the guy said that my career, yeah, he been a Fruit Loop, Q Knox. But you know, in my career, my father did this shit for over 40 years. And many of the men that he mentored end up being my bosses early on. My father didn't discriminate. He trained white men as he did black men and some Mexicans. And throughout my years, I've encountered a lot of them, and they always spoke highly of my father. My father been gone for over 13 years now, but his legacy lives on. When I visit my father's grave, I always find like fresh flowers and coins and little remnants of the job, like hard hats and shit like mariner shit. It's because even over 13 years he's been gone, people still respect him. I remember when I first started, my uncle got me the job, and my father was pissed. He almost got into a fist fight with my uncle. And I started out at what they called a whistle boy. It was the bottom of the barrel. And being that, at that time, I was probably about 6'1". I probably was about 135 pounds, dude. I've always been a skinny guy. Can't tell now, but. And every time throughout the years when I came home, I would tell my father, I went from a whistle boy to a deckhand, and I was proud of myself. By that time, he had been retired. He said, shit, they make anybody a fucking deckhand now. You can pick a deckhand up off the goddamn corner, And so I went from a deckhand to a boatman. I learned how to run tugboats and shit like that. And I was proud of myself. I told my dad, I made boatman, That motherfucker looked at me, shit, you motherfuckers can't run no goddamn boat. They make anybody a motherfucking boatman. So I went from a boatman to a mate. I went from a mate to a crane operator. And each time my father was telling me, oh, they make anybody that shit now. And I'll never forget, before he died, about a year before he passed, I made deck captain. And I always stopped by my parents' house on my way home, and I stopped by my father's house, and he always drunk the motherfucking Bush Light. He drank beer, and he always was in that fucking shop tinkering with something. He was a big man. And so I stopped by there, and that day I bought him a whole case of beer. And he kept his cooler over there on the right-hand side next to his toolbox. And I pulled up in the yard. I got out of there. I put his cooler, I opened up his cooler. I had a couple of bags of ice. He already had ice in there. I'll never forget it. And I took the case of Bush and I put it in there and I stirred it up real good. And I sat out there and just talked to him and shit. And after probably about 20 minutes, he said, "You ain't going to tell me?" I said, "Tell you what?" I said, "I hear you made deck cam out there." I said, "No, I wasn't going to tell you nothing about that because let me guess, anybody can be a deck captain." My father looked me dead in my eyes. He told me, "Son, I'm proud of you. I never imagined in a million years that my son would be the man that everybody looked to." He said, "Son, I've never been proud of you." And then to this day, that is my lasting memory of my father. Fathers instill confidence, morale, dignity, integrity into their sons. And I've passed that on to my boys. So when anybody want to shit on you or discourage you for who you are as a man, you politely tell them to go fuck themselves. And you be who you are destined to be. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated. But we are the initiated. We are men first. Put this up here. God damn. Appreciate y'all, brother, for tuning in tonight, man. I'll be back. Can't say when, but I will be. At the beginning of this video, y'all will see me in my father's hard hat as a 7-year-old boy. It's almost like destiny.
made another